In the annals of history, few tales capture the imagination quite like that of David and Goliath. It was a time of great turmoil for the Israelites as they faced the mighty Philistine army. The Philistine army had gathered for war against Israel, their camps facing each other across the valley of Elah. Among the Philistines was a champion named Goliath, a giant of a man, standing over 9 feet tall. His armor of bronze gleamed in the sun, and the shaft of his spear was like a weaver's rod.
Why do you come out and line up for battle? Am I not a Philistine, and are you not the servants of Saul? Choose a man and have him come down to me. If he is able to fight and kill me, we will become your subjects.
For 40 days, morning and evening, Goliath, the champion of the Philistines, took his stand and defied the armies of Israel. On hearing the Philistines' words, Saul and all the Israelites were dismayed and terrified. Meanwhile, in Bethlehem, the youngest son of Jesse, David, tended to his father's sheep. Jesse said to his son David, "Take this ephah of roasted grain and these 10 loaves of bread for your brothers." David reached the camp as the army was going out to its battle positions, shouting the war cry.
What will be done for the man who kills this Philistine and removes this disgrace from Israel?
Why have you come down here, and with whom did you leave those few sheep in the wilderness?
David's words were overheard and reported to Saul, and Saul sent for him. In contrast, David's weapons were humble, a well-worn sling and 5 smooth stones from the riverbed. And so the stage was set for one of the most legendary confrontations in history. As night fell over the valley of Elah, both sides prepared for the battle that would change the course of history.
Let no one lose heart on account of this Philistine. Your servant will go and fight him.
You are not able to go out against this Philistine and fight him. You are only a young man, and he has been a warrior from his youth.
The Lord who rescued me from the paw of the lion and the paw of the bear will rescue me from the hand of this Philistine.
Saul said to David, "Go, and the Lord be with you." Then Saul dressed David in his own tunic. He put a coat of armor on him and a bronze helmet on his head.
I cannot go in these because I'm not used to them.
So David took them off. Then he took his staff in his hand, chose 5 smooth stones from the stream. David approached the Philistine with his staff and sling in his hand.
Am I a dog that you come at me with sticks? Ha ha ha, come here and I'll give your flesh to the birds and the wild animals.
You come against me with sword and spear and javelin, but I come against you in the name of the Lord Almighty. This day, the Lord will deliver you into my hands, and I'll strike you down and cut off your head.
As the Philistine moved closer to attack him, David ran quickly toward the battle line to meet him. Reaching into his bag and taking out a stone, he slung it and struck the Philistine on the forehead. The stone sank into his forehead, and he fell face down on the ground. So David triumphed over the Philistine with a sling and a stone. Without a sword in his hand, he struck down the Philistine and killed him. David ran and stood over him. He took hold of the Philistine's sword and drew it from the sheath. After he killed him, he cut off his head with the sword. When the Philistines saw that their hero was dead, they turned and ran. The men of Israel and Judah surged forward with a shout and pursued the Philistines to the entrance of Gath. And thus the shepherd boy David became a hero to his people, and the legend of David and Goliath was born. This tale of courage and faith would echo through the ages, inspiring generations to come, for in the face of insurmountable odds, it was not might that prevailed, but unwavering belief in a higher power. And so, dear viewers, remember, with faith, even the mightiest giants can fall.